In the early 17th century, Hanzo Hasashi of the Shirai Ryu clan was away getting water for his family when a rival clan led by Baihan attacked the household. Hanzo's wife promptly hid their infant daughter before attempting to flee with their young son but was caught by Baihan. Defenseless against his icy attack, the two are at his mercy as Hanzo hurries over hearing her scream. However, he is too late as he returns to see that he has lost his family. Sensing the presence of assassins around his home, Hanzo fights them with all his might, allowing his grief to guide his expertise to eliminate them. Grabbing a small blade then, he faces the rest of Baihan's clan while skillfully wielding it with a rope, ensuring that it repeatedly hits its mark. Finally, facing the destroyer of his clan, Hanzo takes on Baihan in an intensely well-matched clash. While Baihan manages to fatally stab Hanzo with his own tool, Hanzo determinedly keeps fighting and even manages to temporarily turn the match in his favor. However, he eventually succumbs to his injury in addition to Baihan's final stab in the name of his Lin Kuei clan. In a truly cruel twist of fate, Hanzo passes while he attempts to get to his infant daughter, who is later rescued by Raiden, the god of thunder and the protector of the Earthrealm. According to a forecast, Hanzo's fall marks the hopeful rise of a new group of champions who will have a dragon mark much like Hanzo, to defend the Earthrealm against the advances of the Outworld. At present, however, the Earthrealm has lost 9 such Mortal Kombat tournaments, and the Outworld now needs just another victory to successfully invade the Earthrealm. Meanwhile, Cole Young, an ex-MMA fighter, takes up fights now to aid his financial condition and has the support of his wife Allison and daughter Emily. Witnessing his fight one day as Special Forces Major Jackson Jax Briggs. While he seems to have high hopes for Cole, the opponent turns out to be too much for him, which compels Cole to tap out of the game. In Outworld, meanwhile, sorcerer Shang Tsung worries about the ancient prophecy. Despite being assured of the result of the tournament by Baihan, who now goes by the codename Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung instructs him to eliminate the competition to ensure that there is no necessity for a tournament at all. Back in Earthrealm, Emily gives her father a strength bracelet she made to match the one she has just as Jax comes over to introduce himself. When he praises Cole's dragon logo, Emily mentions that it is a birthmark and gets Cole to show it to Jax. Discreetly following them to dinner later, Jax reports having seen the mark while it suddenly begins snowing. Signaling the arrival of Sub-Zero, the snow turns violent as Cole and Allison rush to Emily's side just as Jax offers the family a ride to safety. Jax drives through Sub-Zero's attacks and informs his partner, Sonya Blade, about meeting soon. Explaining that Sub-Zero is out for both of them, Jax then reveals his own dragon mark to Cole and explains that it isn't a birthmark but a mark that implies being chosen to fight for the safety of the Earthrealm. Coming across Sub-Zero then, Jax urges Cole to get to Sonya while he fends off their opponent on his own. Arming himself, he prepares to face Sub-Zero and Cole leaves with his family. Cautiously following Sub-Zero's icy trail, Jax's weapon is eventually rendered useless, which leaves the fight to be an old-fashioned combat. Despite having done 6 tours earlier, Jax isn't able to completely throw Sub-Zero off and ends up incapacitated when he loses both his arms to Sub-Zero's powers. Elsewhere, Cole reaches the safe house that Jax had mentioned and speaks to Allison about leaving on his own to meet Sonya Blade. With his dragon mark acting as a beacon for Sub-Zero, he says that he cannot let danger befall his family. In Outworld, meanwhile, Melina reports to Shang Tsung that Sub-Zero has finished off another champion of the Earthrealm while another managed to escape. Since they had anyway won the earlier tournaments by breaking rules, Shang Tsung then orders the release of the reptilian Sci-Zoth. A while later, Cole meets Sonya, who confirms his identity by demanding to see his mark. She then leads him to a secret lair in her house where she and Jax have gathered all the information they have on the dragon markings. She says that 7 years ago, she and Jax were on a mission whose dragon mark target had superhuman abilities. When Jax had finally taken the target down, the mark had transferred to him, which was the beginning of looking into its meaning. It is then that Cole learns about the tournament of Mortal Kombat and how the dragon mark indicates being chosen as a fighter for Earth. Sonya also tells him about having captured a mercenary of the Black Dragon clan named Kano who got marked after he eliminated another champion. Just as she mentions that she doesn't have a mark of her own, the place is attacked by the invisible Sci-Zoth. Cole is flung off, and while it moves on to attack Kano, Sonya stabs it before it retreats. While it returns to attack, Kano uses a flare, allowing him to see Sci-Zoth and follow its progress. Working as a team, Cole hands Sonya a knife which she plunges into Sci-Zoth just before Kano rips its heart out. Later, Sonya realizes that Kano knows where the Temple of Raiden is located. Her detailed research ensured that she knew that it was where warriors trained for Mortal Kombat, but she hadn't been able to find it. When Kano refuses to help and chooses his own freedom instead, Sonya offers him a bribe that she has no means of paying. Convinced, Kano then arranges for them to travel with a friend of his who owns a plane. Mid-flight, Cole continues to be haunted by Hanzo's spirit urging to be unleashed, and he startles awake right in time to jump off the plane. Making their way across the desert, Sonya and Cole follow Kano's lead before they get into an argument leading to Kano challenging Sonya to get his mark for herself by ending his life. She fights better than he expected her to, but she does not deliver the final blow, choosing not to gain a champion's mark. They get on their way again until eventually coming across Liu Kang from the Shaolin Order of Light, who has been waiting for their arrival. Sonya recognizes him as one of the champions of the Earth Realm, and he leads the way to the Temple of Raiden. He mentions that Kano and Cole's training would have to begin right away since there isn't much time left for the tournament to take place. Getting to the tunnels, he uses his power to light the group's way to the entrance of the temple. Relieved at seeing the numerous murals on the walls of the temple that depict the history of Mortal Kombat, Sonya even recognizes Outworld, the Earthrealm's greatest enemy. Cole recognizes Bi-Han and Hanzo's mural from his haunting nightmares as well, but keeps it to himself and follows the group to see that Liu Kang has managed to get Jax there and is trying to find a way to extend his life. They are then presented to Lord Raiden himself, who is thoroughly unimpressed with the unpreparedness of Earthrealm's final champions. A while later, Kung Lao joins his cousin Liu Kang to defend the temple against Sub-Zero, whose arrival is closely followed by Shang Tsung himself. However, Raiden shields the temple from their attack by invoking the thunder and compelling their rivals to leave. Leading Cole and Kano's training then, Liu Kang and Kung Lao inform them of the Arcana, their inner power, which is a gift of the Dragon Mark. While they enter the fight pit to hope to unlock their Arcana, Sonya waits with Jax, who has now been fitted with mechanical arms. Over the next few days, Cole fights Kung Lao and Kano faces Liu Kang in the fight pit in the hopes of unlocking their respective inner powers. Sonya, on the other hand, oversees Jax's training with his mechanical arms, which he soon finds are quite inadequate. Over dinner one night, Kano gets into a silly argument with Kung Lao and Liu Kang, and his anger unlocks his hidden arcana as he shoots a laser from his eye. Cole, unfortunately, isn't able to invoke his inner power despite multiple attempts. Deemed to be a liability without his arcana, Cole is informed by Raiden one day that he is a descendant of Hanzo Hasashi. Stating that Hanzo entered the Netherrealm upon his death and has been looking for revenge from the farthest reaches of hell, Raiden states that he had brought Hanzo's daughter to the safety of the temple. Since the power of Cole's bloodline doesn't seem to be strong enough, Raiden asks him to return to his family instead. Meanwhile, Shang Tsung recruits a group of warriors including Natara the Hunter, Kano's former ally Kabal, and General Reiko to find a way to disable the shield of the temple to help them destroy it. As Kabal offers a solution, Prince Guro joins the team as well. Kabal meets Kano at the temple to convince him to switch sides and sabotage the shield. Once he disables the shield using his power, Shang Tsung is able to gain access to the temple accompanied by his trusted warriors while Cole faces Prince Goro's attack. Desperate to save his family, Cole takes on the challenge even as Shang Tsung instructs his warriors to eliminate the Earthrealm's champions. Both Jax and Cole are somewhat helpless against their mighty opponents while Sonya attempts to deal with Mileena. Stabbing Sonya, Mileena quickly realizes that she isn't one of the champions and abandons the fight only for Kano to bury her in debris instead. While Liu Kang tackles Kabal, Kung Lao bravely faces Natara and saws her off in half with his shield, while on the other hand, witnessing his family in danger awakens Cole's Arcana. Aided by a suit of armor with the ability to absorb kinetic energy from physical attacks and a set of tonfas, Cole is able to overpower Prince Guro to eliminate him. Back at the temple, Jax attempts to save Sonya, and his utter helplessness acts as a catalyst to awaken his Arcana. Granted superhuman strength due to his upgraded arms, Jax saves Sonya even as Raiden summons Cole back to the temple before informing Sub-Zero about the Hasashi bloodline that is still going strong. Raiden then makes to teleport the crew elsewhere to safety, but Kung Lao steps in to save Cole and ends up having his soul sucked by Shang Tsung. Teleported to the Void, a space between the realms where Shang Tsung cannot follow them, the champions of the Earthrealm regroup. For Hanzo's spirit to fight with them, Raiden hands over the blade he had used centuries ago to his rightful descendant, Cole. Coming up with a plan, Cole suggests that they split up the threats of the Outworld in an attempt to fight smarter. Accordingly, Raiden arranges for Jax to fight General Reiko and Sonya to fight Kano, leaving Liu Kang and Cole to take on Mileena and Kabal respectively. As per Cole's plan, they will tackle Sub-Zero together once the other warriors are eliminated, and thus begin the intense fights between Earthrealm's champions and Outworld's warriors. With his upgraded arms, Jax isn't as helpless as before, and hence is able to end General Reiko's life. Meanwhile, Sonya's superior combat skills allow her to take Kano on even with his Arcana unlocked. Once she manages to take him out, his Dragon Mark transfers to her. Battling with his grief at losing Kung Lao, Liu Kang fights against Kabal with renewed determination to eventually heroically eliminate him with his fire. Cole, meanwhile, is overwhelmed by Mileena just as Sonya gets there and reveals her awakened Arcana of firing energy blasts, thereby taking Mileena out. Having abducted Allison and Emily, Sub-Zero then lures Cole to single combat since he intends to end the Hasashi bloodline, for real this time. Just as it seems like Cole is no match for Sub-Zero's icy powers, he uses Hanzo's blade. This resurrects Hanzo as the undead ninja Scorpion, who now finally has the opportunity for retribution for Sub-Zero's crime against his family. Showcasing his superior skills, he easily overpowers Sub-Zero. However, unwilling to give up this easily while fighting an old nemesis, Sub-Zero returns to the fight even as Cole does his best to get rid of the ice surrounding his family. Reminded of his own family's fate, the Scorpion recognizes Cole as his descendant. As a team then, they face their opponent in the name of the Shirai Ryu clan. The Scorpion is eventually partially incapacitated by Sub-Zero's ice, but Cole's determination to save his family allows him to overwhelm Sub-Zero. This lets the Scorpion burn the ice away, thereby freeing Cole's family before delivering a fatal attack. Insisting that he can handle Sub-Zero on his own, he gets Cole to reunite with his family. He then informs Sub-Zero that instead of burning in the fires of hell all these years, he learned to control them instead. Unleashing the power of hell's fire, the Scorpion then ends Sub-Zero's life, thereby settling his centuries-old debt. Thanking Cole for freeing him, the Scorpion then expresses his wish for his bloodline to be cared for before taking his leave. Raiden arrives just then with Liu, Jax, and Sonya, closely followed by Shang Tsung. Never one to accept defeat, Shang Tsung vows to bring not just fighters with him next time, but entire armies instead to ambush the Earthrealm. Hearing this, Raiden banishes Shang Tsung to the Outworld before instructing his team about the new champions whom they must locate and train. Later, Cole quits his fighting for money gig and heads to Hollywood looking for martial arts star Johnny Cage. Thanks for watching until the end. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.